Hello and welcome back to the Business End podcast for another episode, 2 weeks in a row. How amazing is that? I'm joined in the studio today by Rowan Lee and Matt Daly, where we've got a very special episode. We're going to talk about Europe and the football that's going on and the absolute messes in Spain. But first, Matt, why the long face?
Well, it's Cheltenham Festival this weekend, as we all know, and I've been losing, I lost 10 quid on the horses today. It's day 2 of the festival. It's been quite interesting. We made history yesterday with the Rachel Blackmore winning in the champion hurdle, the first female jockey to win that race on Honeysuckle. It was blooming excellent yesterday, to be fair. The scenes after the race, it's empty, but the atmosphere is still there.
Yeah.
80-1 Jeff Kidder won in the penultimate race of the day. That a lot of coupon busters. That broke in the Boodles juvenile handicap. The day started off pretty as expected. 2 favourites winning the first 2 races as they did today. Yesterday it was Appreciator and Shishkin. Today Bob Ollinger. We talked about it last week. There's not many Bobs around, but Bob did win a race, and Monkfish. In the third race today, Heaven Help Us, 33-1 got there. In the Queen's Mother Champion Chase, Put the Kettle On won the big race of the day.
I love that name.
I love horses race. The second favourite, Politolog, was pulled out just before the race because of a bleeding nose. It didn't run, but
His nose ran though, didn't it?
Yeah.
It certainly did.
It was the biggest race of the day, and all the jockeys came out after the race to give the, I can't remember who won the race, but the winning jockey and the horse a guard of honour. It was excellent scenes. Tiger Roll, I think everyone's favourite horse, probably the only one that people can actually remember.
Absolute legend.
He won his 5th Cheltenham race today. He beat out Easy's who beat him last year in the same race, but 18 lengths Tiger Roll won by. It was a breeze for him. It was excellent. As I said, Rachel Blackmore yesterday made history, the first female jockey to win the champion hurdle. 2 winners today. The first race, as I said, with Bob Ollinger, and in the last race with Sir Gerhard. So she's having a decent weekend. She did fall off twice today, though. But
hopefully she's all right.
I think 3 winners in 2 days, and she's up for, I think, 2 more races tomorrow. Should be fine.
Should be good. I mean, luckily jockeys, when they fall, don't get shot. So that's probably a bonus for her.
That's the bonus. I don't think every horse that's gone down so far this week has got back up fine.
That's good. That's good to hear.
Yeah, I mean, especially with the recent times that horse racing's had as well. I think it's safe to say that the last 2 days have been a good one for Cheltenham, really.
It's been what the sport needs. I think a lot of people, the majority of the media around last year was hatred towards the fact that it was still carrying on, wasn't it? I mean, COVID had just turned to a pandemic, and
crazy.
Everyone was saying it was just a cesspool of contraction there.
Yeah, I mean, the Cheltenham Festival was the main catalyst for it spreading around the UK, I think. Obviously, Atleti against Liverpool is what brought it over after the Madrid outbreak.
Yeah.
And then everyone in the country coming into one little town, hundreds of thousands of people.
That's crazy.
A bit of a mess.
But with racing fans being at racing suspended for this year, we'll see an empty Aintree. We'll see every race this year really is going to be empty for.
Yeah.
And then maybe who knows, in the latter months of the year. But it's been excellent.
Hopefully we won't see any of that god-awful CGI racing. I didn't like that at all. I really didn't like that.
I said I lost £10 today overall on the races. I think I lost 30 quid last year on a virtual Grand National. So.
Yeah, I really didn't see the point in that. I mean, I can understand, like, obviously the fans wanted it and stuff. They wanted to see a race, but the CGI one, for me, it just didn't work.
Can you fill me in on this CGI horse racing? What is this?
It was like it was basically like a FIFA simulation.
Yeah. Like the ones in the casino on GTA.
Basically,
basically of all the best horses to ex winners of the Grand National, they all recreated the horses in CGI and they came back. And I put bets on, I believe, Tiger Roll and Red Rum. Neither of those 2 won.
Oh, do you know what? I think I have to join you there. I think I did that as well.
Yeah,
and it was just a overall awful day.
Doesn't sound good.
Yeah.
No, I just want to put out the idea that after the jump to protect horses, every single thing should be a trampoline. I just think that would make racing so much more interesting.
I think that would hurt them and injure them more.
No, they'd fall and just boing, back up they go, finish the race.
There'd have to be loads of trampolines around the place, because
one really big one after each jump.
I mean, I don't think that would help, because because if a horse is in mid-air, how's it going to land on? How's it going to?
It'll be like just after it, just safety net.
Just like the football team you support. I don't think your idea is going to go very well, is it?
I mean, good job. Ben's not head of the horse racing.
Yeah, he's not part of the BHA, is he? So that's good.
Exactly.
I think it would make it more interesting. Obviously, living in Cheltenham my whole life, never been to the races just because they don't like my trampoline idea.
But now, as I said, Tiger Roll obviously winning his 5th race at Cheltenham earlier today. He isn't in the Grand National this year because of a little tuffle about his handicap and weights that will be on there, which will be quite sad that he won't be able to go for the record 3 in a row.
Maybe next year.
I think he's done now. I think that if he was going to win 3 in a row, it would have been last year. I think he might not. I think 2022 will be a bit too far for him.
Yeah, don't want to wear him out. I guess he's been an absolute trooper.
He's an absolute champion horse.
Yeah, that's true.
Shall we move on?
Should we get on to the actual scheduled?
The actual scheduled stuff.
6 minutes in, we'll get to the scheduled bit.
The Euro football.
Football special today, where we're going to focus on something that isn't English for once.
Yeah.
Not that we've never done that before. Just this whole episode is devoted to the absolute mess that is going on in Spain right now, and the Spanish police raiding Barcelona's office. So if Rowan, you'd like to fill us in a bit on what's happening.
Well, do you know what? I mean, I don't even know where to start, to be honest with you. I mean, we've known now for a few years that Barca have been in a little bit of trouble financially, and then recently we find out that they're actually £1.1 billion worth in debt. Now, for a club like Barcelona, I know about you guys, but that is just baffling.
It's very difficult for me to understand, I think, when you see they're meant to be the biggest club in the world, one of the most valuable clubs in the world, with the best players. I mean, how much are they paying Messi? Like 500 mil over 3 years.
They're paying Lionel Messi. So I mean, they were paying Lionel Messi 555 million over the course of 4 years. That would have been his contract.
And that's half the debt, then, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's from the contract that was leaked in Spain, in Spanish publications. I think it was 138 million he was getting paid every season.
That's mental. That's ridiculous.
I mean, a lot of people, no wonder they're in debt.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you can't play your players like that much money.
It's the fact they do it twice a year, so it's not even spread out. They're paying they'll be paying over £200 million each January and August or something.
Yeah.
And they've missed the last payment because they haven't been able to afford it. It's like, how does that happen for a football club of this size?
Mate, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
I mean, a club with that history and that size, they don't help themselves, do they, in the transfer market? I know it's a different side of football, but paying the astronomical fees, although they did get a lot of money from Neymar deal a few years ago, the astronomical fees for Coutinho, Ousmane Dembele, Griezmann, and even the smaller ones of like Junior Firpo, of not Nelson Semedo, who's the young Portuguese right back that they sold to Wolves.
Oh, Semedo.
Semedo, yeah.
I
was trying to think of his first name. Was it Nelson
you're
Semedo?
right, Semedo. I can't think for the life of me what his first name is.
For some reason, my head skips to Anton. I don't think that's
Semedo, yeah. But yeah, like you said though, Matt. I mean, you know, they spent a lot of money on Coutinho, and they still owe Liverpool 29 million euros, 26 million pounds.
Yeah, it's like they're not going to be playing him much for the rest of the season, just purely so they don't have to pay Liverpool more money. So imagine spending over £100 million on a player, or 100 million euros, and then not using him because you can't afford a bit of a clause.
Are they not paying him? Sorry, they're not playing him because they can't afford to. Because if he plays any more games, they have to pay Liverpool the money. When's his contract up, Coutinho? Is it this season or is it?
Is it next season?
Okay, so he can play as much as he wants next season.
I'm guessing they're going to just have to sell some players.
Yeah,
and then they're going to have to use that money to be able to pay off previous transfers. But like, how much do they spend on Griezmann, and they let Suarez, who's twice the player Griezmann is, go for like 1.5 million?
Yeah, I mean that was just like a baffling, bizarre move, to be fair. Just because he was unhappy, I think, wasn't it? He fell out with the owners or whatever.
I mean, who hasn't at this point?
I think
exactly.
I think the majority of Barcelona's problems is they haven't moved on at all from that golden generation. Well, have they? I mean, they still play Piqué and Busquets, who in their own rights are very good footballers. If you think they're still two of the best players in Spain, you're very deluded.
Yeah.
The fact that Barcelona have brought in Samuel Umtiti, Clément Lenglet, Artur as well for a midfield, and they're still playing two stalwarts who probably had a sell-by date 3 years ago. It's mad.
They just seem to be stuck in the past a little bit, and a club that size, I understand maybe they don't want to move on, but you have to. You can't just rely on the old players. they probably see what Messi does, rely on him so heavily. Maybe Messi doesn't want his mates dropped or something. Like they have to be brutal. They have to move on, because otherwise Barcelona might not exist, which is horrendous to think.
Although they have problems in the transfer market, especially the Miralem Pjanic Artur swap deal. They're not breeding anyone from La Masia either, are they, at the moment? I think
Ricky Puig was the most recent to come through, and not a lot of those involved at the club like him because of he's got a bit of an ego. Apparently he's a bit arrogant, and I mean he's a very good player, but Ronald Koeman didn't want to play him just because of his attitude towards the game.
I think it's a bit of a mess, isn't it, really?
That doesn't help them either, do they? They have Everton and Southampton reject as their manager.
Yeah, I know. I'm just looking here, and it's saying that apparently Barcelona 74% of Barcelona's revenues go on players' wages. I mean,
it's not sustainable,
and just imagine what they make. I think they make something ridiculous, like, you know, close to $1 billion in profit. I mean, certainly not recently, but in the past, you know, they've made like close to $1 billion in profit. I mean, 74% of that going on players' wages. I mean, that's just
4%. That is just,
and it's saying it exceeds the league's 70% limit as well. So they're actually over that.
Yeah.
So how they,
I think they've had their limit lowered a bit as well.
Yeah.
Atleti and Barca's limit's been lowered by La Liga, and Real Madrid's have been raised, which is a bit odd, but
yeah, it's just certainly.
And the fact that the main source of income for them now, they're out the Champions League.
Massive. I mean, they've spent overall, they owe a total of £112 million, €126 million to multiple clubs for multiple players, including the likes of, like we mentioned, Philippe Coutinho, and also Frankie de Jong as well. They also owe money for him.
Mental.
So it's like they're just sort of in a hole that's just gradually getting bigger.
See, their problem,
and their ladder is getting smaller.
Yeah. See, they're stuck at rock bottom, and for some reason they've given them a spade to dig themselves deeper and deeper. What they need is a summer where they only sell. But if you're a summer when you only sell, you're only going to get worse.
It's true.
I think they have got the football on the pitch isn't the greatest they've played in a very long time.
See, they've somehow got them out. They're up to second
but
in La Liga.
They're still only 4 points behind Atletico Madrid.
Yeah.
They are 2 points above Real Madrid, who've had an absolute shocking season.
I mean, they're safely in the Champions League spaces. I can't imagine Sociedad will catch Barca. And the mental thing to think is they are in a title race. 2 results in their favour, they're top of the league. And how is this happening when it's such a mess? And I think it just goes to show the absolute mess that La Liga itself is in.
La Liga this season's been mad. I'm just looking at Real Madrid's scores. Their most recent match, they had a 91st minute winner against Elche at home. They scored twice in the last 20 minutes. I mean, because they went 1-0 behind.
Took them very late for Benzema to get an equaliser in the Madrid derby as well.
Was that in last minute as well?
It was fairly late.
Yeah. Look, I mean, Spain are the second biggest national football league.
Yeah.
Because I don't think, as much as Bayern Munich are the best team in Europe, I don't think German football can hold that pole as the best because
it's just one team.
It's one team. Dortmund
at a push 2.
Dortmund are trying their best.
Or 3 at some point.
Dortmund are
maybe
for the moment,
this season 3.
Dortmund in Europe, they're trying. They've been knocked out of the Champions League a few times, but I don't think that Mönchengladbach, the Hoffenheims, the Schalkes in the past few years.
Schalke are right at rock bottom.
Yeah, I mean, in the past few years, Schalke, none of them have been able to hold anything in Europe, really, have they?
No, they haven't.
Besides Bayern Munich.
Yeah, you're right.
You're looking at European pedigree.
Yeah.
Spanish teams, being Real Madrid and Barca, have won 18 Champions Leagues / European Cups. I mean, 13 of those are Madrid's, but like that's all in the past. And even, I mean, Sevilla did win the Europa League. Was it last season?
Yeah, they've won 5 out the last. They've won 5 Europa Leagues since the turn of the last decade.
Yeah, they've absolutely smashed it, haven't they?
Spanish clubs have won 12 Europa Leagues as well. And I can only imagine it's either going to be an English or a Spanish team winning this new conference.
Yeah,
the next contender for the most Champions Leagues is England. There's only 13, and 4 of those were like 50 years ago. I think Villa's was one of them, and then Nottingham Forest having 2.
Was it England got 13?
13, so if my maths is correct,
Liverpool's
which it doesn't look like it is. Liverpool 6, Man United 3, Nottingham Forest 2, Chelsea and Villa have 1.
How many do Arsenal have?
None.
They did win the Cup Winners' Cup like 45 years ago. Says Arsenal fans.
County were in the Cup Winners' Cup because they won the Welsh Cup, so I'm not really sure we can consider it a major
Bristol
competition.
City won the Welsh Cup a few times.
I think it's like you said, really. You know, I mean, you're looking at that Real Madrid, what, 13? They've won it 13 times.
Yeah.
They've won it the equivalent to
3 years
as
in a
many
row as
English
well.
clubs have won it, basically. I mean,
It's the same for the Club World
That's
Cup. Real Madrid have won
ridiculous.
it 4 times. Every other continent put together has won it 4 times.
yeah, they've dominated, haven't they? And I suppose, yeah, in a way, we might as well move on to Real Madrid, mightn't we? Because what the hell is going on right now? I mean, yeah, they got through last night, which is brilliant. I thought I did watch the game, and I thought they played really well. I also thought Atalanta weren't the best.
They-
Really.
as well.
They did their Atalanta thing of we'll play our own game. If we concede 4, we'll try and score 5.
Yeah,
That's the way they've played for the past few years, isn't it?
it's true. It's true.
It's not always a safe way to go.
But
No.
who was it? Benzema scored, and then Ramos scored a pen, and then Asensio scored with I think it was like his first touch. He came on and scored. Like, it was just like, okay, and yeah, so they're through. But
They will possibly be the only Spanish club going through if
Yeah.
Atleti don't win tonight.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean
And in the
that's,
Europa League as well.
yeah, that's definitely one to watch. But Madrid, I guess, they've also had their problems financially, haven't they? I mean,
They are
901 million euros in debt.
Real Madrid and Barcelona. They're kind of in the same. They're in the same boat. They've not brought in the best transfers. You can just think Eden Hazard's had 20 more games out injured since he signed than he's actually been fit for. Luka Jovic, as much as he's still young, he's out on loan at Frankfurt again. He's not worked out. Ferland Mendy, as much as he's improving as a player, the amount they spent on him, he's a left back, in all honesty. And they're still relying on the likes of Benzema, who's had, 4 or 5 people come in to try and replace him.
Yeah.
They've still got Sergio Ramos, who, again, yes, like Piqué, I think obviously he's much better than Piqué, but you got to think about moving him on, because is he going to sign a contract at the end of the season?
There's still, I think he came out the other day, didn't he, and said that there has been no progression in him signing a new deal. So at the moment, it certainly looks like he is on his way out. Whether that will change, I don't know.
Potential. I mean, obviously there are these rumours to Man United, but those rumours more serving as just a way for him to get his own way at Madrid. But obviously, when you're that much in debt, I don't think bartering's going to help you much.
Yeah.
I mean, if you just look at the players as well, likes of Marco Asensio, he had that one breakout season,
Yeah.
and then it's been quiet since. The likes of
Rodrigo.
Rodrigo.
Yeah.
What's the other young
There's
Brazilian?
Vasquez as well, wasn't there?
Vinicius Junior as
Vinicius
well.
Junior.
I mean, Isco's been quiet for a long time.
Yeah.
I think he's such a good player.
Courtois
He's
was
been quiet.
very expensive, but he's only just getting to the level you'd expect him to be at.
Yeah.
The likes of, but they have brought in some good signings, or progressed youngsters to the first team. I think Fede Valverde is an excellent addition to their starting 11. But at the same time, if they are still bringing in the likes of Jovic and Hazard into the team,
It's got to work. It's as simple as that.
Something has to work, especially under
Yeah.
Zinedine Zidane, who, let's be honest, the way he's treated Gareth Bale, if you're going to fuck around,
Yeah.
you're gonna have to get loaned back out to Tottenham Hotspur. No one wants that.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, it's just a mess, isn't it? Really, because I mean, a club the size of Real Madrid really should be bringing in players, and they should be really clicking. You know, I mean, we can't expect too much, but they should really be clicking straight away, especially with the quality of, so for example, Jovic, brilliant player. You know, Hazard, great player. I mean, granted he's had injuries, but even before the injuries happened, he wasn't really clicking into gear at Madrid, and then the injuries sort of happened. So it wasn't like he joined. Unlike Gareth Bale, actually, when he joined Real Madrid, he went into that team and was absolutely fantastic from the off. And it's sort of gone the opposite direction with Hazard. I mean, it just hasn't worked.
Yeah, the Bale that we've seen in the past 2 matches for Tottenham, as much as a small sample size it is, maybe not against Arsenal, but especially against Burnley, is what. I mean, he was even much better than that when he first joined Real Madrid.
Oh, yeah.
Scored the winner in his first Champions League final, didn't he?
Yeah, do you remember that goal against was it Barca? Or was it Atletico? That goal when he...
Barcelona, when he absolutely
just dinked
ruined
it past
Marc Bartra.
Yeah, oh. I mean, what a goal.
But, I mean, let's be honest, the players that Real Madrid don't have at the moment, like Bale, you got to think, if you're getting loaned out to a Europa League side challenging again for Europa League football in another country, where is it going wrong? Is it the manager, or is it just the players?
It's just the club is like a sour apple at the moment. The whole thing It's in free fall. Spanish football is in free fall, and Real and Barca are leading the way.
I mean, as I said to you earlier, off the podcast, Real Madrid players, Barcelona players, PSG players, they seem and they feel so entitled to everything, like on pitch and off pitch, no matter who they are. And I think that gets in the way.
Everything has to be handed to them. I don't think they want to work for it anymore. I think the difference in the title race is Atleti are willing to work for it.
Yeah. I mean, anyone under Simeone, they're gonna die for Simeone.
I mean, if you don't work hard under Simeone, you won't be under Simeone for very long.
Yeah. I mean, as I was saying with the Gareth Bale, when he makes a joke saying that he puts for both golf and Wales in front of Real Madrid, and then you got people complaining that he's being mistreated at Real Madrid. Well, no wonder why.
It goes both ways.
It goes both ways. You disrespect the manager and you disrespect a club. Why would they want you at a club? Why would they even want to play you? And when you've played, you've been slightly above average. When you've got other players who are slightly above average.
I agree with the Bale situation, and it's actually really interesting, isn't it? Because recently, we've seen Gareth Bale play all right. I guess he hasn't been fantastic, but he's sort of been decent. But then a few months ago, since he's joined Spurs, everyone's been like, oh, well, he's just been on the bench, he hasn't done anything and stuff like that. And then I'm starting to think, really, how much was it at Real Madrid? How much was it Zidane just not liking Bale, or whether it was just Bale not performing and not doing it in training, for example? We don't really know the ins and outs. A lot of people obviously have their point of view on it and stuff, and a lot of people probably feel that Bale was just shut out of Madrid, but we don't really know what was going on in training or anything, and I don't think he was performing in the games, and obviously he had his injury issues, so I think it's very more than meets the eye, really.
Yeah, there definitely has to be a reason. I mean, Benzema, to be fair to him, he's one of the best managers in the world, and he was brought back in for a reason. I can't imagine he'd just freeze out. If Bale's meant to be one of the best players in the world, one of the best managers in the world won't just freeze him out. Something has to have gone on, I think.
I agree. It's true.
There's another European giant that's been struggling this season, but in a different country. In Juventus, they've got the different type of problem with Pirlo as their manager. They're just not performing, are they?
Yeah, I mean, I think I said it last week, and I said it at the start of the season. Pirlo's not the man to turn them around, and they've got a very similar problem to Barca and Real, where they're living in the past and they're using the past players that used to be fantastic, but they're just not anymore.
Yeah, the old guards at the back with
a combined age of almost 100. I mean, that's a bit exaggerating, but they're still.
They got to be a combined age of over 70, haven't they? I think both of them are over 35.
Yeah,
but as you said, they're living a bit in the past, as much as the likes of Dybala has. Well,
apparently he might be leaving, actually.
I mean, he's even 28 at the moment.
Yeah.
He's not
a young one anymore.
He's not a young spring chicken.
Even though he does look young, to be fair. He has got a baby face, hasn't he?
If you do look in their top goal scorers this season in all competitions, Ronaldo's got 27. Then it's Alvaro Morata with 13.
Wow.
And how much was he? Is he on loan at the moment?
He's on loan, yeah. Somehow hopping from club to club.
Big clubs though as well.
A £65 million striker
I said this
in quotations.
Yeah, I said this on a stream I did, where it's like he's gone from Real Madrid to Chelsea to Atletico Madrid to Juventus. He's not that good. He must be like a big money laundering scheme between the big clubs in Europe just to move money around.
He's gone from Real Madrid to Juventus, back to Real Madrid to Chelsea to Atletico Madrid, now to Juventus again, and he's had 2.5 decent seasons.
He's just, I really don't rate him at all.
Then again, Juventus' top 5 goal scorers this season: Ronaldo 27, Morata 13, Federico Chiesa 10, Weston McKennie 5. as he's a young lad coming through, and then it's Dybala, Kulusevski, Rabiot with 3.
Jeez.
They don't score many.
That's pretty mad.
It's not going well, is it?
The other players don't score many. Ramsey's got 2, Bonucci's got 2, Danilo and Arturas have both got 1. They don't.
It's probably why Ronaldo's thinking of leaving, maybe.
Yeah, all of these players are just getting linked to Man United at the moment, but Man United are so far in debt as well.
I watched a video the other day saying, is Ronaldo a Juventus flop? He's left Real Madrid for a new challenge, really, isn't he?
Well, winning the league with a team that wins the league every season and then not winning the league, I mean, it's hardly a challenge. I think it's more challenging for him to go there and not win every single league title, and he's actually managing it somehow. Not just him. I think it's, again, how the club's run.
This is his third season at Juventus, isn't it?
Yeah.
And hasn't he drawn level with the amount of leagues he's won at Real Madrid? Did he only win 2 leagues at Real Madrid?
He did, but he won a ridiculous amount of Champions Leagues.
Yeah, he won.
and
Didn't
Spanish
he win
Cups.
4 Champions Leagues he won?
Something ridiculous
Something
like that.
crazy like that. Well, the thing is, at Juve, he's played 87 games and he scored 75 goals in 87 games
player.
for Juve. So when I see that as even a flop at Juve, I don't know who's typing that up, but he certainly has been a flop.
Got Matt to click on it.
Clickbait. Right there.
The thing is, though, right? Obviously, he didn't win that many titles in Spain because he's got Barca, Atleti, Sevilla, the big 4 Spanish clubs. You have to squeeze Sevilla in there just to make it a 4. But still, he had far more of a challenge than Italy, where all the big clubs are starting to kind of fall apart, and they've only just started the resurgence this season.
That's the thing. That Italy have had a resurgence, especially Milan clubs. Inter Milan 10 points clear at the top of the table.
Yeah.
Is it nice to see the old giants back at the top?
I think it's nice to see not one club win it every season.
It's
looking interesting again, isn't it? Really, it's
all
not looking
Europe,
like
it could be a different winner to the normal ones,
except for
Germany.
the Bundesliga. Yeah, so we got Atleti in Spain, Man City in the Prem's a bit boring. Ajax in the Netherlands isn't the best.
Yeah,
Sporting over in Portugal, but Lille are 3 points clear at the top of Liga, which is the most exciting thing to see.
Yeah, that is.
You say Ajax in I think since 2015 Ajax have won 2 Eredivisie. Is PSV and who was third counting it? Feyenoord.
Feyenoord are 5th at the moment. They're falling behind.
I mean, I think their last game they lost 3-1 to Utrecht. I think it was on one of my bets. That's the only reason why I can remember
Bit
it.
of a gambling problem. I mean, yeah, the top 5 in the Eredivisie is Ajax, PSV, Alkmaar, Vitesse, and then Feyenoord.
I mean, I think the top 3 we can sort of say, no surprise, no shock, really.
I mean, they're competing for the 1 Champions League spot, which is absolutely ridiculous.
It's pretty brutal, that really, isn't it?
I mean,
it's like the Scottish League goes like that, isn't it, as well?
It's like how they want to expand the Champions League and give it to more clubs so they don't have to go through qualifiers. But like, you can't have Netherlands, I'd say 6th or 7th best league in Europe, get 1 space.
Yeah, it's a bit unfair, really, isn't it?
I mean, I'd happily lose a spot in the Prem, an automatic spot in the Prem, to help even it out a bit.
We used to have a non-automatic, didn't we? The 4th place, which was Arsenal's place,
It's
we had to qualify every against
UEFA
Besiktas.
coefficient or something, isn't it? So the better you do, and then it builds more points for your country, and then winning it gives more. We were, wasn't it the early 2010s? We were at risk of losing our 4th space because English clubs did absolutely nothing in Europe, and then obviously when Liverpool won it, it kind of kept it safe.
Yeah.
Early 2010s.
It was in between Chelsea and then Liverpool, or was it United were the last team to win it? I can't remember who the last team, but there was a space where English teams kept going out in the group stage and out the early rounds.
I mean, early 2010s we had...
it was like mid-noughties, wasn't it? I think.
Mid-noughties we were excellent. We were always...
Was it?
Yeah, mid-noughties we were excellent. 2008 was a full English. 2009 United lost against Barcelona.
And then it was since then.
Then 2011 United lost to Barcelona. 2012 Chelsea won.
It's when Pep was the manager of Barca, really. Yeah. That's when it was all...
We did have a 4 or 5 year gap where we didn't really do anything.
2013 to 20...
And that's when we were at risk of losing that spot, obviously.
I mean, we had a few semi-finals. We had that one Pellegrini Man City side that got against Real Madrid.
Yeah, I mean, at least now we have the conference, so we can get a European treble. And then when the Euros get a quadruple, we're all good.
I can't wait for Watford to be promoted next year and in 2 years' time playing in the Conference League.
See, I'm going to say this every single time it comes up. It should have gone to the Papa John's Trophy winner.
So you want to see Sunderland...
playing against Lincoln Red Imps.
I mean, as a Bristol City fan, seeing Lee Johnson manage a football club for 4 years, you want to see Charlie Wyke, the 6'4" target man beanpole, who before this season couldn't find the back of the net for love nor money, playing against a team that beat Celtic.
I mean, at the moment, I'm trying to.
They did beat Celtic, didn't they, a few years ago in the Champions League qualifying?
I think it would be.
I think so. Yeah.
Sunderland going up against Monaco. Monaco in the, I think, the only conference spot given to a league place that I could find. So
AS Monaco.
Monaco, yeah. They're in a conference space at the moment.
So how are they doing in Ligue 1?
They are fourth. So Lille and PSG get the Champions League spaces. Lyon in Europa, Monaco Conference, and Marseille below them.
See, what do we think of this? Because I saw it the other day actually. Well, the other week I saw it, and it was Messi being linked to Paris Saint-Germain. Now, I don't know what it was. I think it might have been the Bleacher Report or something like that. I saw it on, and I just looked at it and I thought, will this really happen? And if it does happen, what happens to Mbappe? Because I think Neymar's just signed a deal, hasn't he, anyway? So Neymar's definitely staying.
Yeah.
But Mbappe is still stalling to sign a contract. So what does this mean for PSG if Messi does join?
I mean, obviously, Neymar left Barca to get out of Messi's shadow and then ended up in Mbappe's shadow. So I can't imagine Neymar would be too happy being in both Messi's and Mbappe's shadows again. I don't think anyone can afford Mbappe, is the thing. Real Madrid want him. Real Madrid are focusing too much on making the Bernabeu better than Tottenham Stadium, which is a very stupid thing to do. But when you have that good a team, the problem is Messi's getting old. They've got an aging squad apart from Mbappe and a few of the younger ones.
I think with the PSG, I mean, any publication or report that says Messi might leave Barcelona is absolutely bonkers.
Clickbait.
No matter if Barcelona only had a cardboard box to play in and only had Lionel Messi's son's friend from nursery in their squad, they still have Lionel Messi.
Yeah.
I think Barcelona as more than just a club, as a representation of Spain and as a representation of Catalonia. Lionel Messi is way more important than any player Barcelona have had since
past and present, probably. I mean, apart from the likes of Cruyff.
But besides the likes of Cruyff, and I think since the turn of the century, really, no one has been as important to one club as.
Which just shows why they pay him so much.
Yeah, and I think with the PSG, I mean the sister-loving left winger of Neymar.
Is that a libel case there?
I mean, he loves his sister. That's why he always gets her birthday off, isn't it? I mean, he always
family celebrations. There we go.
He loves family celebrations. Neymar tried to get out of Messi's shadow. To only get shown up in a league. In a one-team league by 18-year-old from Monaco, and then a 32-year-old Radamel Falcao in the same season.
The thing is, though, out of all the clubs that could possibly afford Messi, it's probably PSG and Man City. PSG and Man City are the only two clubs that can afford. And Barcelona in debt, Real Madrid in debt. They can't afford him. But obviously, Madrid aren't going to go for him.
Madrid, definitely not.
Possibly Chelsea.
Yeah. Possibly.
I mean, I can imagine him wanting to go work for Pep.
Even Roma would struggle with that, I think.
I mean, he could afford him. I don't think
he could get him.
I think he'd rather buy a yacht or something.
Yeah. I mean, when I went on holiday to Barca, I saw Abramovich's yacht, and it's. We okay back there?
Yeah, we're fine.
Yeah, I saw Abramovich's yacht, and it was just massive. It's bigger than what Cleve used to be. Also, I've seen. You walk around London, you look at all those massive buildings. Put Abramovich's yacht there, and it'll take up 10 blocks. It's
madness, isn't it?
Obviously, that's hyperbole, but it's massive.
I think maybe if you sold that yacht, then he might be in for Messi.
I was like, Barca will just give you my yacht. And then,
here you go. Here's the yacht. Now give us Messi. There we go.
Yeah, it's all good.
But yeah, I think, like, in all seriousness, I think at the end of the day, if anyone is going to be able to afford Lionel Messi, it would be PSG or Manchester City. Yeah. And out of the two of them, I'd probably be more inclined to go with PSG
because they're less
than
smart.
Man City.
Guardiola's not going to be a man to spend absolutely every penny his club has on one player.
Especially if Mbappe does want out as well, because we have heard a lot of rumours, shall we say. I mean, I think I was listening to the radio the other day, and Guillaume Balage was saying that there's a lot of truth in Mbappe wanting to leave. I think he's just trying to sort out his options, and I think, like you alluded to, I think definitely Madrid are up there, and I think there's only three teams I think that are interested in him, and it's PSG, Manchester City, and Liverpool. And out of all of them, in my opinion, I can't see Liverpool being able to afford him.
No.
a PSG, even Man City would probably struggle. They'd probably have to sell a few players.
It's
maybe.
like when you're that good, you command whatever fee you want.
Yeah, exactly.
Have you've seen these potential rules? I'm not sure if there's any truth to them. But like UEFA are like, clubs in European competition can't sell to another club in that European competition anymore. That's like something they've considered bringing in.
If that happened.
So PSG couldn't sell to Barca.
Wow.
And Real couldn't buy from Man City, which seems ridiculous because it would just mean all the clubs to get players have to buy it from the lower clubs.
Yeah.
Which means all the lower clubs' good players are gone, and every league just becomes the top four.
That infamous European Super League
Just
would probably happen, really.
Yeah. I mean, it's all
that.
going to be. It's everything that happens with these sorts of things.
Yeah.
Is to make a European Super. I can imagine like we gave you more Champions League spaces, so you should let us have our own league.
Yeah.
It's like bit dodgy.
Yeah, it is.
Very dodgy, but that's what they want.
So we're going to move it away from a bit of European chat and stick with technically European chat. England's under-21 squad was released for the European Championships.
Yeah.
And
Come on, Cheltenham. We got a player
Cheltenham
in there.
player.
Yeah.
On loan from West Brom, Josh Griffiths, the goalkeeper, got in as pretty much
Somehow.
third choice goalkeeper, really.
Yeah.
Was there any
Ben's
other?
face when he said that, he was
Yeah.
like, what?
Well, I know he's not starting.
Yeah,
I know if it were up to me, he wouldn't. This is going to sound really mean. Josh, if you're listening to this, you're a very good keeper, but we all love Scott Flinders. We just do.
I mean,
I'm sorry.
has anyone seen the squad? Any other names that jump out to you before I go on my little?
Probably should have learnt the squad better.
I'll just give you a few names that I'm interested in and that you might be interested in.
Both the Sessegnons, that's what I remember.
Steve's in there.
Yes.
Steve
I
Sessegnon
remember seeing a few names in there.
On loan to Bristol City. Ryan Sessegnon. Some other ones. Tanganga from Tottenham.
Is that Eberici Easy?
Eberechi Eze is in the squad, as well as
I saw him play for Wickham against Cheltenham.
Dwight McNeil and Curtis Jones, two players that have been excellent in the Premier League this season.
Yeah, I agree. Both of them have been brilliant. Yeah.
Rhian Brewster, Mason Greenwood, Callum Hudson-Odoi, all in the
Yeah, I mean, obviously
junior
Hudson-Odoi and Greenwood are the ones that kind of jump out as why they're in there and not in the senior squad.
I think more Greenwood for me,
Yeah.
definitely. I think you're right. They definitely stand out. But I think Hudson-Odoi, again, whether it's because he hasn't been given enough playing time for Chelsea, or whether it's because he just genuinely is totally overhyped.
Yeah,
That
perhaps.
why is he in there? But there's no getting away from me as a brilliant player.
Yeah,
But I think Greenwood especially should be in the England first team because he I mean, how old is he? 18. I mean, he has literally carried United in some games this season, and they've relied on an 18, 19-year-old.
yeah.
There's one more
mental.
name that I was excited about.
Yeah.
We talked about PSV earlier. So Noni Madueke is in the squad. 7 goals in 21 league games this season for
Yeah, make way for Noddy. He is on his way. He's going
make way for Noni. From the Tottenham Academy, left in 2018. Another one that's left English football for pastures new in Europe.
I mean, following the Sancho route, which,
Following the
to be
Sancho.
fair, I mean, Louis Barry did it for a year only because he wanted to go from West Brom to Villa, and West Brom wouldn't let him. But he's gone abroad for a year, done what he wanted, played Barcelona for fools, and scored against Liverpool.
I mean, there's 2 players in this squad that are playing outside of England with Ryan Sessegnon on loan. Do you think that's a more viable option nowadays? Because let's be honest, a lot of these young lads are getting loaned out to the likes of Burnley in the Premier League, the likes of the lower. I mean, you just look at West Brom. They've got, is it the Arsenal lad? Who's the Arsenal lad?
Maitland-Niles.
Maitland-Niles, yeah. And then Arsenal have also loaned out Joe Willock to Newcastle.
Yeah.
As much as, yes, getting them English football is okay, they've been there enough, haven't they?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be better to loan them out to a competitive team in Europe?
So a lot of them go off to the Bundesliga, and I think a lot of it came down to before, if you went abroad, your England career's over pretty much. I think we've had one player in the past 20 years, that was McManaman, who played in Germany. And everyone else, if you go abroad, you're pretty much done. We only pick English players playing in England.
I mean, David Beckham and Stephen Mann were both at Real Madrid. They both played. I think Michael Owen at Real Madrid played.
But it just doesn't happen often.
Yeah, I think...
No, you're right. It doesn't happen enough, I don't feel.
We can't. Our problem is we have one style of football because we all play in one country.
Yeah.
Besides, obviously, the David Beckham route, I can only name, before Jadon Sancho properly hit the headlines, I can only think of 2 players that were out, and that was Joe Hart
at Torino
and Micah Richards when he was at Fiorentina.
Massive fail, that wasn't it?
maybe
Both of them, I think. Really.
That's in major Europe teams. I mean,
Yeah.
I know players. Have been
Jarell
to,
Sellers off to Ostersunds.
I know players have been to
massive.
the likes of the MLS, the Chinese league, the Australian.
Yeah.
Bradley Wright Phillips, was it?
I mean, but let's be honest. If you go over there,
It's like the Italian manager at the time said Sebastian Giovinco has completely ruined his career forever because he's gone and played in America.
Well, it's like Oscar, isn't it? You know, Oscar used to play for Chelsea, just going off to China. I mean, I think he's only 20? What is he, 27? Something like that. He's in football, he's still pretty young. Do you know what I mean?
Players
like,
are having to leave China because of the government's taxes and stuff. I can't remember what the Premier League have apparently agreed to boycott any player coming from China, which is just a bit.
That's a bit. That's interesting because. How can you boycott someone coming from China?
So apparently it's this weird secret thing. Obviously it's not confirmed. I think I heard about it from someone who knows someone who knows someone who knows about 10 other people. But it's like the clubs aren't going to be signing anyone that comes over from the Chinese Super League.
I mean, what if the likes of Graziano Pelle or Hulk for some reason want to come over to us?
Do you remember him, Graziano Pelle? What a name.
He was a cracking player in
He
their
was
first
brilliant.
season.
I mean, we won't be signing any Chinese players because let's be honest, they are absolute. I mean, I don't think the majority of them will get into the Cheltenham Town side.
Well, let's be honest,
Probably
they've all just gone over. We all know why they've gone to China, don't we?
Yeah.
We all know why.
I mean, a lot of Brazilians have gone over there and changed allegiance to China.
Well, I was reading like loads of them don't even live in China. Apparently, some of them live in like Malaysia and stuff, and they just get flights over for games because they don't want to live in China for various reasons.
It's a much better place. Malaysia's a much nicer place to live, isn't it?
Yeah. I just find it strange. Really.
A mess, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a bit of a mess of a league.
But anyway, the England squad, weren't we?
England squad.
Go back to the England squad. Sorry.
So yeah, the main man in the under-21s is Josh Griffiths. Obviously, he's gonna he's gonna be third choice goalkeeper, first choice striker, I reckon. Absolute, he's massive. Yeah, we just ignore the fact that Newport scored against him with a goal kick, and the fact that there's not really any other under-21 goalkeepers.
Just blame the wind for that one.
I mean,
It's the wind and the pitch and the ball.
Just get Jurgen Klopp's book of excuses out. And then
last week we were talking about how England have had a decent bunch of average goalkeepers.
Yeah.
And now in the under-21s tournament, we're having to call up a guy that was out on loan at Cheltenham. But to be fair, 2012 we called Cheltenham loanee up to the first squad, didn't we, with Jack Butland?
Yeah. Obviously, Cheltenham have a good record of it happening twice.
Loaning in goalkeepers that somehow end up.
We're really good at getting these goalkeepers. I mean, we're very hit or miss. Like Dylan Phillips is now Cardiff's first choice. That was a hit. John Flatt plays for Russian Olympic. That was a miss. That was not good. But we are getting some very good young goalkeepers. Moving on from Cheltenham's finest, we're going to talk about probably the strongest squad of the tournament. Obviously, everyone's saying how amazing England's team is, but I couldn't help but think France just have a squad good enough for the actual Euros.
I mean, looking at the squad, it probably is better than quite a lot of the countries that are going to Euros. The likes in goal, Lafont in goal, Meslier, who's been excellent in the Premier League, Wesley Fofana at the back. I mean, the Canute from Leipzig.
Oh, he's fantastic.
I mean, the midfield they could have as a joke: Hassim Aouar and Guendouzi and Camavinga.
Yeah, I mean, they've got first teamers in some of the best leagues in the world. I mean, I don't understand how they can't win this tournament.
I mean, that whole team right there is like arguably better than the Everton first team.
I mean, that team would finish very strongly in the Premier League.
Yeah, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, they've got Moussa Diaby, who's at Bayern Leverkusen at the moment, 3 goals this season in 24 games. He started every game he's played this season. They've got genuine starters, and no offence to the likes of Josh Griffiths or Steve Sessegnon. As much as I love him, Bristol City.
Steve.
I mean, I'm not too sure who this guy is. I'm just looking at the goalkeepers in France. Dimitri Breton. He's Montpellier. He's played 6 games for Montpellier this season. So basically, France's goalkeepers are first choice at Nantes, who beat PSG on the weekend. Yeah. First choice at Leeds, who's been absolutely excellent. And Montpellier's up-and-coming young goalkeeper. Yeah. And we've got third choice at Stoke, first choice at Cheltenham Town, and Aaron Ramsdale, who's first choice at the bottom of the league.
Aaron Ramsdale, yeah.
But again, they got Camavinga, who everyone is absolutely
raving about. He's a fantastic. I sign him for every career mode I do on FIFA.
Hassim Aouar, who everyone was salivating over 2 years ago, but is so excellent.
So yeah, it's going to be between England and France at the Euros, I think.
I think there is no chance that our England team beats.
No, I'd say it's going to be between them. It's going to be whoever wins the game if they meet each other. If England can steal it.
I mean, there's no denying it'll be a fantastic game.
It'll be outstanding.
So we are just
on Eurosport, probably. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Who's got Eurosport?
Exactly. Should we just quickly go through the Champions League?
Champions
just quickly,
League,
because we've got 2 games tonight. We've got Chelsea, Atletico. Chelsea already 1-0 up.
Mm.
Then we got Bayern, Lazio. Bayern are 4-1 up.
Bayern Lazio's done.
Bayern Lazio's done. What about Chelsea, Atletico?
I think
It's going to be a close one.
I think it'll go to extra time. I think Atletico will absolutely
go for it.
Well, they'll Simeone a 1-0 win like they did against Liverpool at the Stadium Metropolitano.
To be fair, who would have thought that Liverpool would lose twice to Atletico? It was absolutely mental. Obviously, we've seen what it led to. Bit of a pandemic, but no.
Yeah.
I think Chelsea are a very good team. Atleti are a very good team, but not doing too well. It's going to be a very close game.
So I think that was the quickest round that we could do. We are 45 minutes in. Any final thoughts from you guys?
Steve, watch.
So what? We're on Steve Watch. What Steves have we brought into?
Yes, hello, welcome to Steve Watch, where after my joke about Steves last year, I decided to have a look at some Steves in English football. Now, they're all managers. There's no Steve really playing that I could find. Now, number one, we have some good news. Shrewsbury manager is back home from hospital, having he was readmitted after suffering with COVID pneumonia. So, very, very well done to Steve Cottrell, and best wishes.
A man close to both of our hearts.
Very close.
Got Cheltenham into the
club legend.
I wouldn't say club legend at Bristol City, but won the double.
Yeah.
And got back promoted to the Championship where we belong.
I'd say he's a club legend, mate. And on my Football Manager save, Cheltenham play at the Steve Cottrell Arena. Next up, a less popular manager. It is Newcastle's Steve Bruce. He remains under fire for club's poor performances and negative style of play, with Alan Shearer saying he knows his job is at risk ahead of their 1-1 draw against Villa, which was very, very, very dull, in all honesty. Nothing really happened until the last minute.
Yeah, I nearly fell asleep in that game, actually.
I mean, I was on stream, so I couldn't fall asleep, but I really wanted to. And
his eyes were going.
Yeah, I mean, I had to make it fun. I was telling really, really awful jokes, trying to get people going. And next up, my third and final Steve of the week is Scotland manager Steve Clarke announced his national squad for the upcoming World Cup qualifiers versus Austria, including Leicester-born Southampton striker Che Adams, who will look for game time in those Israel-Faroe Islands matches.
Rowan, any final thoughts from you?
Final thoughts. I think that is probably it, really.
That's everything. Other than Dortmund not allowing their players to go abroad, which means Bellingham and Sancho may be unavailable for Friday's England squad.
Yeah, and that's it.
And Pickford out as well. So
yeah, that's it. Yeah, no more final words from me.
And my last final words, as always, will be: please watch on Friday the Cheltenham Gold Cup. It's going to be one of the closest. I've done my research. The closest that probably there has been in the past 10 years.
But it's such a shame there's no crowds.
So, I mean, we're live from Cheltenham. We might be able to.
Yeah, we are.
I mean, we live here.
Probably not get anywhere.
Probably
near.
Get kicked out. To be fair,
get the bus the bus goes over the bridge past the racecourse. All we have to do is go up and down and up and down and up and down.
Just walk up Cleve Hill and watch it from there.
Yeah, get some binoculars.
Anyone got a really good telescope? I won't ask why you've got it.
So I think my final thoughts would be: if you are going to watch the Cheltenham races live in Cheltenham, get some binoculars and be on Cleve Hill.
Yeah, of course. Because you won't be allowed in.
Yeah, just work there.
That's all from me. So thank you to Ben.
Yeah. That's all right.
And
thank you to Rowan.
Thank you, guys.
And that's the thanks from me. And tune in next week for TVE podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stay safe.
Cheers.